Happy Friday. I am so sore today, it's ridiculous. I wanted to go for a walk. Maybe it'll be possible this afternoon, but as of right now, I don't know if that's gonna work out, but I'll do my best to get out and get a little walk done today, but yeah, I don't know. I just don't know. So the workout went great yesterday. I did my video in the afternoon, so I guess I went over that. I do have deadlifts tomorrow and shoulders and chest. So looking forward to that. I don't know how the recovery process is gonna go for one day, but I'm gonna do my best to bring everything that I have to that workout. I may not do cardio before that workout tomorrow. I'll probably just hold off on cardio until Sunday. But yeah, do cardio Sunday and then take Monday off. So we'll see. What I wanted to gab about today is, I know I'm always talking about carbohydrates, and don't get me wrong, that's extremely important as an endomorph. It's extremely important to dial in those carbs. You know, figure out what carbohydrates you need as an endomorph that's gonna keep your endocrine system running properly, keep your testosterone, you know, numbers up, but at the same time, you're trying to still burn fat. So, you know, that's important, but more importantly than anything, I feel, because I had some hormonal issues when I cut weight in the past, is making sure, and you know, this is a big one, you got to make sure that you're hitting your calories. You know, you don't want to go too far into a deficit. You know, a deep deficit will get you results, but it'll also screw with your hormones, and it'll also screw with your energy levels and recovery greatly. You know, when we're in a deficit for a long period of time, our body starts producing more cortisol from, you know, which is a stress hormone. As that cortisol goes up, fat loss will decline. And the reason why is because your body goes into this starvation mode thinking that, oh, I'm not getting enough food. Well, that can happen also if your carbs are too low. So, you know, we want to keep our, don't get me wrong, we want to keep our carbs as endomorphs lower. But I do think it's important for us to remember that, you know, our body needs carbohydrates. Our body needs carbs. But, you know, I would say as an endomorph that's cutting, you probably, you know, with your breads, if you eat that, breads, you know, refined carbs, vegetable sources and fruit sources, we really don't want to be over 150 grams. Not if we're trying to cut. You know, I'm trying to go lower than that. Not with everything included, but with, you know, with, I guess I am trying to go lower than that. I'd probably say that I'm trying to average probably 75 to 100. I need to go lower to get in ketosis, but you know, that's a process that takes time. I'm not just going to crash my system. There's other things that have been at play during this entire process. You know, I'm lifting heavy. You know, I'm going crazy lifting heavy, so I need to be able to recover. So I want to get in enough carbs for, you know, solid recovery. I ride my board. I research a lot. I have to use my brain, which requires a lot of glucose. So there's other factors at play other than just cutting fat with me. You know, I have to think about the way that my body needs to perform in other areas besides maximizing fat loss. And I'm sure you have the same issues too. Now, before, when I was like just going crazy and wanting to cut to 10% body fat, I exhausted, you know, all of the resources that I had in order to reach that goal. That wasn't sustainable. It was the wrong process. You know, it was able to get me to 10% body fat, but not in a healthy way. And that's why I'm stressing on these videos that you have to figure out how to do this in a healthy and enjoyable manner. So, you know, get online or go see a doctor, figure out what your BMI is or your BMR, and, you know, start playing with your caloric intake. You know, mine, I've had it up higher. You know, recently I dropped it lower. I'm, you know, kind of feeling like I can survive on a deeper deficit. But that's what I'm saying. You got to learn your body, and you also have to learn your body according to the way that you're working your body. You know, the way I'm working my body is downshifting. You know, I was doing a lot of volume before, eating a lot of calories, putting on a lot of strength. Now I'm starting to back off the volume, increase intensity within that volume, but also add in riding my board more because the weather's nice, running more, you know, and as I said before, I have to research a lot. I have to use a lot of the think time, which requires glucose. So I have to eat some carbohydrates in order to support these things. But you know, stay on top of your caloric deficit. Please don't go too deep on the caloric deficit. I know this is not as easy as it would be for someone that's not an endomorph that's trying to burn fat. I know. That's why I do these videos. It's not easy. It takes a lot of tweaking. And I think that most endomorphs lean towards the radical approach, but the radical approach is not the long-lasting, sustainable approach. The radical approach will get the weight off. You'll get lean as an endomorph if you go super low carb and you go at a deep deficit. I've done it. However, it's not going to be rewarding in the end. And your reverse diet process will be absolute hell if you're trying to reverse diet back up to manageable maintenance calories and not put on a lot of fat. It's going to be really difficult if you go into a deep deficit and your carbs are super deep. I would say that it's probably more beneficial for an endomorph to eat a little bit higher carb to get enough carbs in, but then maybe add in like a walk or something like that per day to balance those numbers out. So at least your body's getting, you know, more energy and more important energy like your carbohydrates, but at the same time you're doing something that's nullifying those calories, you know, and using them as a way to, you know, push your body through another exercise that can boost fat loss. So just my ideas, you know, from failures, in all reality, from making a lot of mistakes doing this, you know, and that's why I think that these videos are a great piece of information, because I'm coming from a position of, you know, making mistakes and learning from my mistakes, which is why I don't just go nuts and start just doing anything now. I, you know, try something, learn what it's doing, look at the data, write everything down, and then I move on from there, and it kind of just puts me in a position where I can formulate the strategy that's going to be, you know, long term for myself. You know, I cannot stress the learning your own methods and learning your body enough. Willpower will get you a lot of weight off, but willpower is not something that's sustainable forever. Willpower, even if you get great results, will sooner or later wear out, and you will be stuck, just like most people, putting weight back on, spinning your wheels, not wanting to go back into that willpower process, because the willpower process is hell. It's not easy. It's a, you know, using 100% willpower to cut fat and sustain fat loss is, you know, very stressful, and, you know, it's just really hard on your life, and I don't recommend going that route. You can if you want to learn that it's not going to be sustainable, but I don't recommend, you know, I don't recommend exhausting your willpower indefinitely in order to lose fat and keep fat off. I don't think it's a good process. Take a look at those calories. Keep that deficit in a, you know, tight range, no more than 20%, and just let the weight come off incrementally in a happy way, keeping yourself happy, keeping yourself, you know, in a fruitful mind state. Happy Friday.